Hey guys, we're back out. Here I am back out in the hangar, standing in front of the green screen, and I thought I'd answer a couple questions for you. It seemed like, first of all, thank you for everyone who commented on my last video about the tool that I needed. You guys had stated that I needed a crow's foot tool to get that particular bolt. I had never heard of that tool, so that was one of those things that's like, awesome, thank you. I actually got a really nice set of them. And I'm not sure if they're going to work now that I look at them, because I'll have to show you closer, but basically they've got kind of a nubbin on the ends that I'm not sure if I'll be able to use that, but we'll see. There were other types. I went for the more expensive set. They were like $28. Went for the more expensive set because I like to buy good tools. We'll see. So anyways, thank y'all for pointing that out. Like 1 or 2 of you, or 47 of you, mentioned that I needed those. So thanks guys, I really appreciate it. It was awesome. A common question that I get all the time is whether or not a rotisserie is a good idea. So for those of you that don't know what rotisserie is, the concept behind a rotisserie is that you can hook your plane up to it on either end like an ear of corn, and so you can kind of turn the plane as you're working on it. Yeah, it's actually a great idea. You can get rotisserie stands fairly inexpensively. I mean, hundreds, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, when you're building an airplane, that's fairly inexpensive. I opted not to go that route just because I didn't think it would be necessary. Plus, I was not sure with the weights that are involved how stable it would be. And I knew at some point I would just be climbing into the plane, so I really just didn't think it was necessary. Do I regret that? Maybe a little. I can see the need. I can see why you would want a rotisserie. There's nothing wrong with going that route. I just chose not to. So, do you need one? Absolutely not. Would it make your life a lot easier? Probably. But you can get away without using it. Like I said, my big thing is I just put it up on my stand and I just bend over, and you know, my back's a little sore at the end of the day because I'm fat and old. But other than that, yes, I've heard of rotisseries. I know about them. I just didn't get one. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Someone had mentioned a while back about the bowing in the end of the skin right at the baggage door, and I was a little concerned about that as well, that like it just seemed like things were kind of not in the correct shape. Well, if you look at this picture here, you can see that actually all of that bowing has gone away entirely. Everything is perfectly straight now once I put the floor plate in and everything, and this is after I'd been working on one of the steps for a while. So once I got that baggage compartment floor panel in there and all clecoed in, everything straightened right out, and it looks great. So don't worry about the bowing, it goes away. What else? I don't know. In this video I'm going to be working on the steps, so the steps on either side, and yeah, that's what I'm working on. So anyways, I'm sure I'm working on other stuff. I've got lots of stuff I want to share with you guys and talk about, but I got to do things in order, and sometimes I film this part after I've done the work, so I always forget what order things are in. So anyways, let's get to it, and hopefully more will come about here shortly. So the problem with this particular set of these crow's feet, which, you know, conceivably would work fine, are these nubbins. These little nubs right here actually prevent me from getting this sucker in there because there's not even that much room. Whew. So I would need to, like, if I want to modify this tool, which I don't know if I want to do that. I generally don't like modifying tools, but I would need to cut off like all of this. That's unfortunate. That would weaken the integrity of the tool quite a bit, but I think it'd be okay. Crap. So you can see right here, it doesn't quite, I can't quite get it in there because this bar is in the way. So that sucks. Editor Jason here. Okay, this is days and days ago that I actually did all this footage, and so right now I'm working on it and trying to bring it up to speed to where something that it's kind of watchable. This video was actually 2 videos. And I lost some footage in between. Yet again, something, I don't know if I do some stupid thing or something like that where I push the button to record and it doesn't record, even though it beeps. So I really do need to think about getting another camera. I've thought about getting one of those GoPro Hero 9s, but ooh, they're pricey. Anyway, so a little update on the crow's foot and that bolt. I still haven't got it in yet. That crow's foot that I bought, it just won't reach, which I showed just a second ago, and you saw that I just can't get in there. But I did get another tool that I have not had time to go out there and film that I am 100% sure will solve it. I just haven't solved it yet. And then from here on out, I'm going to be doing some real-time footage. So everything is basically in real time until the end of this video, to show you guys how long some of this takes. Many of you have asked me if you could see some, a better, just kind of a view into how long this stuff takes. And some of it takes a long darn time. And so I'm going to be producing these every once in a while just to show you that, hey, sometimes this stuff, it's not exciting. Just to give you an idea. And I don't expect you guys to watch this. I'm pretty sure most of you won't. But if you do, stick around till the end. Anyways, guys, thank you. So here we go, real-time stuff, and take it away, Jason from the past.
All right, so I'm on to the upward forward fuselage assembly, and one of the things I have to do in the very beginning, very first step, is to fabricate a spacer from some AS363 by 625, and I need a 14-inch piece of it, and I can't find it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. So I'm going to skip that step until I come back in. That's just literally a strip of aluminum. So I went through looking through my scrap and whatnot, and I can't quite find anything, but I know it's here. I may fabricate that out of a different piece of scrap or something, because I know it's just a spacer. It's not like structural. It's not something really all that important. So, but I will solve that problem. I just have to find it. But in the meantime, the next step is to fabricate from some angle a 17, 18 almost inch piece for support on the front, and I found this. This is the correct angle, and I thought, God, that's a really big piece for only 17 inches. Let me go check my scrap box, and sure enough, I had another piece from an earlier creation of something on the plane. So save the longer stuff for something else down the road in case you need longer, and sacrifice this. And so that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna mark this sucker up, and then figure out how to make it. I don't fully understand what it's asking me to do here. It's fabricate the angle from this, but it doesn't actually give. So there's obviously this lip here that you're supposed to cut out of this, and it doesn't give how long that is. All right. So I don't know. Let's get to marking and we'll figure it out from there. Okay, 17 and 5/16. Where is my little marker? There we go. All right, 17, 5/16. So here's 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there, 5/16. 5/16. Measure that again just to make sure. 17 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. Okay. Good times. Just like that. Okay, so now we need to cut that. So 17 and 5/16, and then how long is this guy? Where does this go? Why do we need that lip? This go... Oh, I see. Interesting. Does it talk about that anywhere?
Not really. Alright, let's cut this first, and we'll go figure out exactly what to do from there. Okay. Sure we didn't screw that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 17 to 5/16. Here we go. So now, from here to here, you want 3 inches. That's going to be like this. So 3 inches. That way, 7/16 up. Put a hole. Alright, so we're going to do from here, so 3 inches, 1, 2, 3, so here, and then 7/16 from the bottom, 7/16 or 14/32, so right there we have a hole. Okay, that hole is to be 1/8 of an inch. What is it for? I love some of the initial part. What a lot of what you're doing is just trying to figure out what the hell they're trying to have you do. So I'm going to drill a hole right quick and then continue to fabricate. I've got these guys right here. I got to fabricate them into 2 different pieces, and then this guy I've got to break apart, and then there's a football shaped piece which I have over there somewhere that I need to cut, and then you got to put a whole bunch of nut plates on, and then more nut plates, and then holy crap, more nut plates. And yeah, so there's a lot of finding parts and assembling parts. Not big parts, just a lot of little stuff, which is cool. Yeah, whatever. And I recognize, like, I know this piece. I recognize some of these pieces where they are, but I know right where they are. So, yep, a lot of small work today. So, all right, let me get my drill bit. Okay, so I have shortened this to the 17 5/16, and I have the hole drilled. And if you line this up, you can kind of see right through that hole is the hole. And so if we take this to, and that's nice that a lot of times in the plans these pieces that they show are actually to scale, which is cool. So now that means if we run this part down here, in theory, then, you know, right about here-ish, so, you know, right here-ish, we're going to be cutting this flange away in order to get this curve. So I'm just gonna mark this so that we can do it. I'm not going to do it yet though, because I want to make sure that that's correct. But in theory, we're going to be getting rid of all of that. And then this, well, that will allow us to bend this piece up slightly on the vise to do, because this is going to sit somewhere, and I guess this piece has to be flat. And I imagine at some point we're going to put a hole right here and drill through that to mount it to whatever substrate is on here. So that's what we're doing there. I'm going to leave that for now until I figure out if that's exactly the correct thing. So now I'm going to go to these guys and work on this next step. So we're going to be putting a bunch of nut plates in on those 4 pieces. And lots of drilling, just simple stuff. One of the nice things about doing work like this is you can kind of just sit down and relaxingly do it. A lot of times you're on your feet for hours and hours at end, and it just gets tedious after a while. So, good times. Now is always a good time to talk about something random. I don't know what to talk about. How are y'all doing? Good, I hope. Especially in today's climate of horrible malware, human malware. You're not allowed to say what it actually is, or YouTube will actually demonetize the video. I don't know why. So we'll avoid that. So right now I'm just doing some final drilling to bring these holes up to number 40. Again, that's something you don't have to do on... I already did those. That's something you don't have to do, apparently, on the new kits, because everything is actually drilled up to the correct size, which is cool. That's actually pretty awesome. What did I do with my deburr tool? Probably over there. So, yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, is that the right size? That would be really cool to have the ability to just basically start assembling the plane without having to do all this drilling. I mean, that's cool. I don't know if you have to do that on a 12. Some of you RV-12 guys down there, if you're building an RV-12, do you have to go through and size all your holes, or are they just ready to put a blind rivet in and go? I'm curious about that. Comment down below if you would. I would appreciate knowing the answer. Almost done. Alright, let me find my deburring tool so I can deburr these. And then we will get to putting in nut plates. Hello, deburr. There you are. Alrighty. So yeah, weather has been really weird lately. We've had those hurricanes and everything, and it seemed like it was warm, and then just one day, boink, it was cold. Like, we skipped the season, guys. But all in all, things have been good. Here, I did get sick. I've had some medical issues that I am slowly dealing with, and I know a lot of you guys hate when I talk about medical stuff because you're like, don't talk about it. Because you're worried about, the FAA or whatever finding out. And my thing is, if I can't fly because of a medical issue, then probably that's for the best, I'm never going to lie to the FAA or anyone else about my medical issues. But so far it's no big deal. Just weird blood pressure stuff. It's resolved now. In fact, my doctor put me on a new blood pressure medicine. Apparently they found out that the old medicine I was using and another medicine kind of didn't work together well. He was telling me that they work together similarly, and because they work together similarly, when you use them together, they cancel one another out. I'm ignorant, I have no idea. So he's like, yeah, that's terrible. Who put you on this? And I'm like, doctor, just like you. He's like, well, he was like mad at me. He's like, why are you taking this? This is the wrong thing to take. And I'm like, because a doctor told me to. I know nothing about blood pressure medication. I'm doing what I was told to do. Like, it was my fault. But they put me on a new medication, and it was too strong, and got to a point where I was like woozy one day from, blood pressure medication being entirely too strong, which was kind of funny. But all's good now. Feel good. So what I'm doing now is a lot of nut plates. You have to actually dimple the nut plate, and these are the K1000-08s, and there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each, and so I will dimple basically all these holes because skin goes here, and then here, and then this dimpled nut plate will sit up under here. The dimples actually make it easier for the nut plate to just kind of rest nicely against this flange, which is cool. Yeah, I'll have to look. I'm pretty sure I need to dimple these because this is a flange of where the skin goes, and generally speaking, if there is skin, it is dimpled. I am 99.9% sure these all have to be dimpled. I guess I should go check that before I sit here and dimple, because if you put the nut plate on, that will make dimpling this down the road difficult. So I need to go look and see what kind of rivets are going to be used. And that's something you do have to do sometimes. Sometimes it won't directly tell you to dimple something. They won't actually say you need to dimple these. Just make the assumption that if skin is going against it, you're going to dimple it. And if all else fails, if it doesn't tell you to dimple it, look to see what rivet is being held or being used to hold it together. If it's a 470, then you know it's not a dimpled. If it is a 426, basically if it's anything other than a 426. If it's a 426, you know it'll be dimpled. So that's a trick. Not much of a trick, but it's a trick. So dimple. So there we go. So now those are dimpled, and this nut plate will fit right here, like so, and it just kind of sucks up against there nicely because the nut plate itself is dimpled, and then rivet. But like I said, now you probably can't see this, but there's like not a lot of room right there in the event that these are supposed to be dimpled. So you need to do that before you attach the nut plate. So let's go look and see, or let me go look and see what rivet is used. I'm 99% sure that's skin. So one moment, please. Let me go look. Ow, leg. Ow. That is right here. That is that. That is the 170. 170 uses. Those are rivet 10th. Droop. That is a 426 3 dash. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I was correct. So these are basically every hole in here, with the exception of the. Well, that's weird. Do you do the nut plate hole on these? No, you don't do the nut plate hole, or the nut hole rather. Excuse me. I had like eggs for breakfast, and they're backing up on me. Something terrible, which is weird. It never happens. But anyways, when you dimple these, you dimple each side to keep it flush, but you're not dimpling the main nut hole. There's a totally different type of nut plate if the big hole was supposed to be dimpled. So, gonna knock these out right quick, and we're gonna go from there. That guy is completely dimpled. So in other news, I am back on coffee. Yay! I got permission from my doctor because I was told him, I said, you know, I stopped this coffee thing because I thought it was giving me issues and that was what was causing all the blood pressure stuff. And he's like, no, it's not coffee. He says, you know, coffee actually can do really good things for you. Coffee's actually very good for you, which I've always heard. And he says, but, you know, any blood pressure spike or whatever you get from coffee is going to be for 5 or 6 minutes, you know, after you initially drink it. And then from there on, you're going to be fine. He said, so this is not a coffee issue. And then we found out it's the medication. I had these conflicting medications. It's like, oh, okay. So now that I'm on the new medication, so the medication I was on was valsartan, and apparently it's got all sorts of bad stuff, and they're like, if you're on valsartan, go talk to your doctor, because apparently it's not good. And they put me on something called nifedipryl or so nifediprin, or I don't know, it's a blood pressure medication. Works real good. Like I said, my blood pressure at one point was too low. My blood pressure is perfectly well regulated now, like better than it's ever been. I'm really surprised. I've been on blood pressure medication since I was 19. I mean, the Army put me on blood pressure medication way back then when I was like in the best shape of my life, which I am not in. But yeah, I've been on blood pressure medication forever. And so that's why I originally quit coffee, because I was like, you know, clearly all this coffee I'm drinking is not doing me any favors. And the doc's like, no, I don't. So I can drink coffee again. So that means all you lovely individuals who are sending me money via Patreon, we're back on coffee. So if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, jump over to my Patreon page for as little as $1 a month. You can afford or help me afford my coffee addiction. I love coffee. Oh. It really is my only vice. I don't do drugs. I don't really drink all that much. I do like beer. I mean, I like to brew beer. It's it's a fun hobby, but I end up giving most of it away. My last batch that I brewed was just good. I've not mastered carbonation in my brewing career. For whatever reason, it doesn't always carbonate correctly. I don't force carbonate. I try to bottle carbonate everything, and everyone tells me that's your problem. You need to force carbonate it. Just stop bottle carbonating it entirely. And I think I'm beginning to think they're all right, because I just can't get it to work. So okay, so we're setting that up. Everything is dimpled. Let's make sure we're all dimpled. Good to go. Dimpled. So now we're going to begin. Oh, you know what? I only dimpled one, and I just took all the things off. Crap. I need to dimple more nut plates. Oops. All right. Let's do that real quick. Ow! I don't remember what we were talking about. And now here comes a neighbor. I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes I don't want to talk to people. I'd rather talk to you people. Get in there, you bum. There we go. Okay. So let's just put them here like that. What were we talking about? We want this to go the other way. This goes the other way. Okay. There we go. Oh, we were talking about coffee. So even though I am back on coffee, I'm not drinking very much. Instead of, a thermos a day, and I forget, that thermos I had, it must have been like 48 ounces. I'm doing a cup of coffee. That's what I'm allowing myself. Trying to, moderation. Even though I like it, moderation. Oh, there. And one last one. All right, now we can switch out to these and start actually riveting them in. Someone had asked if this table is acceptable, or if I had wished I had a beefier, more robust table or something like that. And honestly, no. I mean, you could spend a lot of money on a table, but this is just a piece of plywood, And I think as long as you get, as long as you keep it kind of firm, stiff, this is ample. You don't need anything more than this. You could go nuts. This is one of those things you can go crazy with table if you really wanted to. I gotta get a Cleco. I think this table will suit me just fine, and probably I'll transfer it to somewhere else, or do something else with it down the road when it comes to, once all said and done. I've had some people ask me if I'm going to build another plane, because I've hinted at it, and possibly, I have to finish this one first. I will say it is a fun hobby. It is don't lose. It is an addictive hobby. Okay. You know what? As I was just saying a minute ago, it's like sometimes I don't really like talking to people when they sneak by. And it's not because I'm antisocial, maybe a little, but it's that sometimes I'm out here just kind of for my own zen, Perfect. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I just want to be out here and be left the hell alone. Which, I do a lot of hobbies that are that way. I go, like hiking. I like to hike the trails and whatnot, because I like to be out there alone. Okay, so there we go. That's what we're going to continue doing. So this piece, these, as I understand, go like on either side of the dash, and you have the skin will go, here, and then this is on this side. Basically, the panel's right here. So here's where the panel is. So these are the hooks, and so there's going to be another bar going all the way across that has more nut plates all the way across. So the whole panel is basically just screwed on. So you can unscrew it and look at it if you want to. Which means I got to think about ordering my dash soon. I hear that all the time. It sounds like somebody's beating a dog. Ugh. Don't like. Probably not. Probably just a dog being loud, but still. I got to think about ordering the panel. I'm not sure if I want to get a uniform one, like it's same on each side, or if it's one of those that are angled. They've got some different options out there, and I'm not sure. Oops. Hello. They've got some different options out there, and I'm not sure which one I need to go with or I want to go with. That's another thing. If you guys, if you guys have, some of you have already built a plane or are ahead of me. So if you have a good reason why one of those is better, tell me. Because some of them look really cool, but I can't decide which one would actually be like functionally from a user standpoint. I mean, something might look cool, but then you get in there and you start using it, you're like, ugh, you know. So that's something that I kind of rely on y'all. Okay, so if you guys have something that you're like, hey, this is the way to go, let me know. I can't hold things today. Everything's falling. Yep, it's one of those weeks. So anyways, I'm going to get to this. I'm going to finish knocking these suckers out and then go from there. I'm not sure what the next step is, but I'm going to try to show more real-time stuff, like how long things take. I mean, there are things that just take a long dang time. There's no speeding some of this up, you know, unless, you know, y'all know a way to speed this up. I mean, obviously throwing stuff around and dropping crap, not really conducive to good building, but it takes time. You know, some of this takes time. And some of you have asked to see more real-time footage, so I have no problem with that. No problemo. I will happily show you that some of this crap takes a while. But anyways, I'm gonna continue to slowly put rivets in, and we'll move on to the next thing here shortly. Whee!
And there you go, folks. That's where I'm going to end this one. I know it wasn't exciting, but you guys did ask for some real-time examples of what, you know, how long it takes, and sometimes it takes a long time. So if you're still here, which I would be shocked if anyone actually is, do me a favor and click that like button down there and subscribe. It does help. It's one of those things where it really helps push my channel higher in the YouTube rankings, which gets me more views, which ultimately, in a weird way, gets me money, assuming I don't get demonetized or something like that. Anyways, thank you guys so very much. I promise the next one will be a little more exciting and a little more in-depth and show you all the things I've been working on as I work on them. And hopefully we'll actually make progress. This was like a 35-minute video that felt like we made no progress at all. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.